Today's show, I'm a real good friend of mine. He's a writer, he's an author, he's an actor. Make sure you check him out at General Hospital, too. One of the biggest names in sports, if not the biggest. The star and also executive producer of First Take. Introducing my man, Stephen A. Smith.
What up, money?
What's happening?
I'm good.
Yo, thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Look, I seen you the other day, a few days ago now. You took that free throw competition very seriously. Yeah. First I seen you a lethal shooter. And I said, okay, because lethal shooter's my man. I said, okay, Stephen A. looks like he's very righteous about it. Then when I see you go against Kenny, everybody was smiling, but you, I didn't see no smiles.
Because listen, Kenny and I go back 40 plus years. His brother Vincent was the one that used to train me at Queens and Lost Battalion Hall. And all of that shit. I wouldn't have a scholarship. I wouldn't have got a basketball scholarship if it wasn't for Vincent Smith, man. Wade trained me and taught me how to play. So it's mad love and respect to him. And Kenny was a guy that I grew up idolizing the whole bit. So that's one thing.
Right.
But Shaq was there.
Okay.
And that motherfucker trolls better than anybody. And Shaq in the full, he was just waiting.
Yeah.
He was just waiting for ammunition. So I knew what he was going to do.
Right.
And Chuck, and we all know, Al Barkley can roll in the whole bit. So these are my cats. I've known all of them for over 20, 25 years in 09. And so it was like, it wasn't even about, the national television. But please, man, I'm on national television every day. I ain't fazed by that.
Right.
Should I lose a contest to NBA, two of them are champions, two of them are Hall of Famers and a whole bit. It's not that.
Right.
I was petrified. Man, I don't give a shit if I lose. Like, if he hit all five, but I hit 4 or 5, that's good.
Right.
I can't miss. Like, I can't go up here and go 0 for 5. That's why I was so serious. I was like, oh, no, this ain't the first pitch and shit where I ain't never played baseball and stuff, and I'm going out of mound for the first time in my life. Or they're not realizing, no, this is basketball.
Right.
I'm like, oh, hell no.
Right.
I ain't going out like that. Bright lights on me or whatever. This is what I do. I'm like, fine, let's go.
Right.
And that's what it was.
Because to be honest with you, and you know this more than I know this, is that the time you were just hanging out just in the gym and you shot some air balls with James Harden.
That's right.
They wouldn't let you. They went up for 2-3 months. I said, no. I said,
shit. For 15.
Yeah, but not just that. I'm like, he's not practicing. He does a show every day, but they want your ass about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's the deal with that James Harden shit.
Okay.
So, James Harden's playing in Houston. ESPN said, we want you to do an interview with James Harden. No problem. I get to Houston because at that time, whether it was the national, the Final Four, I forgot what it was, whether it was the Final Four or the national, whatever it was, I went there. And I went to interview James Harden. James Harden was like, I got shit to say to you. Until you take off your jacket and get out there and shoot jump shot. He said, you talk too much shit. He's talking to me, and then you ain't going to shoot. I said, come on, man.
Right.
I got on a shirt and tie. I got to do the interview.
Right.
He said, I don't give a damn.
Right.
And I said, he said, you ain't even allowed to warm up. Get out there and shoot.
Right.
And it was bad. It was really bad. But I was like, I'm going to put myself out there first because to me, that's like somebody that's not really accustomed to being in the hot seat, and then you got to come on first take or something like that, and I get at you.
Right.
I'm like, listen, what's good for the goose is good for the game, so I got to do it.
Right.
That's what happened with that James Harden joint.
Okay.
I would think about that shit yesterday.
Yeah, when I see you a lethal shooter, I said, yo, he's locked in. I don't think he want to repeat it. Because the internet don't forget.
Well, the lethal shooter thing, like, people thought that I was working with him before. That's not what happened. What happened was that I saw him on the internet making these incredible shots. And obviously, I'm watching NBA basketball, and we see quite a few people that can't shoot, And so I'm watching this brother and listening to the lessons. And then I'm hearing, you got cats like Jalen Brown and others that he may have worked with, the cat from Phoenix, Grayson Allen, and others who was a leading three-point shooter last year. He worked with these cats. So I was like, I'm going to get a brother some shine. He's doing some good things.
Right.
Roll. And I said, let me get a brother some shine. And I'm gonna throw him out there. I'm going to go interview and do a podcast show on him.
Okay.
He was like, yo, let's work out while you're doing it.
Right.
I said, okay.
Right.
So I went out there and shot with him in the whole bit. So that's all that was.
Right.
The workout was right.
Gotcha.
And I mean, before this free-throw shoot contest, he was like, yo, he changed my whole. He said, nah, man, make up your mind. 1 minute you bouncing the ball once, another minute you bouncing the ball twice, another minute you holding it on your right waist, another minute you holding it on your left waist. Like, what you gonna do? 1 bounce, 1 time, 2 bounce. No. Routine. Same shit all the time. Right. That's what I need you to do.
Right.
So I'm thinking about all of that.
Right.
And I'm like, I gotta get
Kenny, and Kenny smiled it off, and I don't think he was happy about it.
Well, he shot with his left hand. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was like, he handicapped himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he went up there and shot like he normally shot. This Kenny Smith, we talk about career, 83% free throw shooter,
Right.
all-time three-point shooter, field goal percentage wise, the best postseason three-point shooter in NBA history. I don't know if everybody know that. That's really true.
Right.
So, I mean, I know there's levels to this, but damn it, it was free throws. We weren't playing on basketball 5-on-5. It was free throws. I was like, I got to change.
That's your business, Kenny. If you use your left hand, he was out there. He was out there. Let's talk about real quick.
Yeah, man.
Your relationship with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
He says you're not in locker rooms, you don't go to practices, and what do you really know when you say something about him? But then sometimes I see you on your show or not your podcast, but done interviews. What is your love-hate relationship, or what is your relationship like, period, with Kevin Durant?
I have no hatred really towards anybody, but I will tell you, with Kevin Durant, I got a lot of love for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a bit too sensitive sometimes. He bitches up too much, to be quite honest with you. I'm just going to say it how it is. And, and it's unnecessary. It's like, okay, so we talking about me not being in the locker room. Do you understand that in my line of work, that's a compliment? Because that means I'm doing something else. You know, when you look at the success that I've been blessed by God to enjoy, a lot of people in our industry wish they had that kind of success.
Right.
I don't have to be in the locker room anymore. I graduated from that. That's not to disrespect any of the beat writers or any of the people in the locker rooms or anything like that.
Right.
But everybody knows that the reason why you don't see me at as many games or in the locker room as much is because I'm working on TV.
Right.
So I'm putting in, I don't know if people know this. I don't work less than 330 days a year.
Right.
330.
Right.
Average, check ESPN. They will tell you. Okay, it's a minimum of 240 days on First Take.
Gotcha.
That don't count Sports Center. It don't count NBA Countdown. It don't count other shows that I appear on for ESPN and what have you. It don't count the shit that I do on my own when it comes to politics and all of this other stuff. So I work a minimum of 330 days out of the year. The reason why I'm not in locker rooms is because somebody usually has me somewhere else on the airwaves. Prior to that, I was in the locker rooms an average of 120 games a year. That is 82 games a season during the regular season for a team. Well, you got teams like LA and New York that got more than one teams in the market. I would go from one game to another. Couldn't stay the complete game and all of that stuff because I'm working.
Right.
Working the locker room, working pregame, making sure they want to holler at me. That's why you see me a lot of times walking courtside during the layup line and stuff like that. Because if anybody want to come holler at me about anything, yo, Stephen, I need you to meet me after the game.
Right.
Yo, Stephen, I need you to talk to me, meet me at this spot. Yo, let me holler at you. I'm going to call you later, blah, blah, blah. Because I make sure to let them know I ain't hiding from no damn body. And so when Kevin Durant says that, first of all, he don't know what he's talking about because he doesn't know what the media entails, regardless of what the 35 inches would indicate. He don't know. That's number one. And number two, he only had that shit to say because he was upset that I questioned his leadership. I questioned it then. I questioned it before. I'm questioning it now. I didn't question his game. I know he's one of the greatest ever. He's a future Hall of Famer, first ballot, easily one of the greatest prolific scorers in the history of the NBA. Two-time NBA champion, two-time NBA Finals MVP. Even with the Splash Brothers as his teammate, he was clearly the best player in the world on that team. Nobody would question that. And once upon a time, we were comparing him to LeBron James. And I still think he's a better pure scorer than LeBron James. And I got LeBron James on the Mount Rushmore basketball. But
were you recently injured in a car accident? Look at this check for 160. My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. With Sky Rizzi, feel symptom relief at 4 weeks. Many people were in remission at.
That's how he gets from time to time. And so, with the reason I clapped back at him was because of the word clown. Well, you did not one but two documentaries.
Right.
I starred in both of them because y'all called me to star in both of them. You called the clown to star in your own documentary. Figure that out. Right. You came on First Take. You understand? I sat right across from you for 35 inches when you had your show, The Boardroom, with Jay Williams for moderating it. Was I a clown then? So it's like, you got cats that's talking, and that's the culture of a lot of folks in today's NBA. Not all, not most, but far too many of them are too sensitive. And I know why, because any little thing you say affects them. It affects their brand they have in the social media, the sensitivity to everybody running their mouth or whatever. Were you a man or you not? Can you take it? You know, the fact is, I ain't talking about your family. I ain't talking about your personal life. I said that you are a great player, but leaders hold cats accountable. One of the things we marveled at in watching a Michael Jordan and watching a Kobe Bryant and others is you knew you had to answer to those cats if you didn't handle your business, whatever your business was. Kobe wasn't getting on no scrubs. Kobe wasn't getting on somebody that produced, but he'd get on you if you didn't fulfill your role. Kobe got on Power Gasol. I remember when Lamar Odom was doing they did this big feature on Lamar Odom, and I'll never forget this as long as I live, and it was a feature on the brothers' addiction to candy. Twizzlers and Sour Patches and Skittles and all this other stuff. Everybody was smiling and laughing, and I had this serious look on my face. I said, has anybody seen Kobe? Right. And they were like, what? Why are you asking that? I said, I feel sorry for that dude. When Kobe sees that piece, because when Kobe sees that piece, Kobe don't get his ass. Right. Because Kobe thinking, no wonder your ass can't run up and down the court. Right. No wonder you ain't teeing up hard enough. No wonder you ain't doing blah, blah, blah. That's Michael Jordan. That's Kobe. People like that. And so if you Kevin Durant, 2 of the last 3 years, you bounced out in the first round. Right. You got swept twice. You got, you wouldn't have got out of the first round if Kawhi Leonard had gotten hurt. That'd have been 3 straight years. So considering your level of greatness, what's up? How come it ain't happening for you? It's clear because of your game. It's because the cats around you, they ain't prioritizing shit the way you need them to in order for y'all to get over the hump. At the end of the day, that's on you. I'm not good enough. I was never that talented. I do first take. Right. You think somebody gonna come to first take and be lackadaisical on my watch? Right. That's my show. Absolutely. That's the executive producer. Right. You try that shit. Right. All of a sudden you're gonna read story like, this person got moved off the show. There's new talent coming up. I'm not having it. Right. You gonna bring what you're supposed to bring, whatever that is. To me, that's what leaders do. And that's what I was challenging him on. Obviously, he didn't like it. He came at me off of that. I said what I had to say, and ever since then, I've slept well. Gotcha. Right.
You brought up Kobe. And that was one of the best one-on-one interviews I've seen with Kobe that you actually did before. And I haven't seen you, and I could be wrong, you correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen you do a lot of one-on-one interviews with athletes. What do you think your relationship with athletes today are as opposed to yesteryear?
I don't think it's great.
Right.
I just don't care. Right. And the reason I don't care is because I know why. Mm-hmm. It's a few reasons. Number one, sensitivity is real. Because they looking at the advent of social media and how everybody got a voice or whatever, and they get sensitive, ultra sensitive about it. Number two, everything's about their brand. Right. So whatever you whisper about them, they think that it could affect them potentially monetarily. But they got a problem with that. Okay. Number three, they have their own voices in their minds. So it's like we can have a podcast where we could go on one of our contemporaries podcasts with another player or whatever, and we could speak out then. That's number three. And so all of those things come into play. And I think that, for me personally, listen, this is the hardest part. And I've said this to ESPN. And I said, they really have an appreciation for me. And the work that I do and the ratings and the revenue that I bring to the company, and I'm glad they appreciate that. But I've said to the bosses at times, you have no idea how hard my life is. Yeah. Every single day I wake up, I know I'm going to make an enemy.
Right.
Every day. Because when you have a debate show, you have to take a side.
Right.
And any side you don't take is going to be considered hate.
Right.
And as a result, they're going to take it that way instead of compartmentalizing. Like, I remember, me and you had a conversation, you disagreed with me about something. I was like, so? I got nothing but love for you, girl. You have every right to disagree. Now, if somebody attacked me personally, that's different.
Right.
You telling me I'm wrong, you disagree with me, I can't fuck with that feeling, I can't vibe with that.
Right.
That's what you do. Right. You have a show.
It was healthy. It wasn't
exactly. They don't look at it that way. Right. But the phony part about it is they look at it that way with each other.
Right.
Until they don't.
Right.
And one of the things that I said, to bring up Kevin Durant's name again, remember what I said when I responded? Right. I said, just tell me who can talk about you.
Right.
You've gotten at fans. You've gotten at former players. You've gotten at present players.
Right.
You've gotten at the media. Is anybody allowed to say something about you?
Right.
Because you're playing in a public forum. You ain't playing in the privacy of your garage or your home or something. You playing in the public. Thousands upon people are coming in attendance to watch you every night. Millions of people are watching you on the air. People gonna have shit to say.
Right.
It's not a crime, bro. Ain't nobody taking away from your clear, obvious greatness.
Right.
But if we see, but with greatness comes great responsibilities. You ain't supposed to be home in the first round.
Right.
Period.
Gotcha.
When you great, you ain't supposed to be home in the first round. And if you are home in the first round, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at a career 27-point per game scorer that's home in April. What? So if you're going to get sensitive to that, should the sensitivity be aimed at me or the teammates that help you get past April?
This is gonna be
And so, when people come at me like that, and, you're going to have players, and of course the LeBrons of the world and other stars, they talk and they mimic to one another and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, fine, and don't stop this train because they forgot or they didn't realize one important thing. I'm not the beat writer in the locker room no more.
Right.
I'm not the columnist for the newspaper. I'm going to come to the games anyway.
Right.
When I can, I'm going to get to the locker room. I'm going to do all of that to make sure. They all got my numbers. I ain't changed my number, bro, in 20 years.
Okay.
Specifically so they can find me, okay?
Right.
But they don't realize one thing that's very, very important. I get paid to talk about you, not to you.
Right.
I don't ever have to talk to them.
Right.
Me wanting to talk to them is a courtesy. I got the Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube. I got First Take. I got any ESPN platform that you want because anything that I do is going to be splattered all over the place, right? Or it'll be seen everywhere, right? And I make myself accessible. If you don't talk to me, it's because you chose not to. It ain't because I'm hiding.
Right.
So that's on you. All I can do is ask. Every single year, I put in requests for those players, knowing they're going to say no.
Right.
But I do it just to let them know, I'm here, I'm not hiding, I'm not running. You got the shop, I'll show up on that. You got the boardroom, I'll show up on that.
Right.
You got another podcast, I'll show up on that. It ain't me just asking them to come on my show.
Right.
It's me letting them know, I'll come on your platform.
Right.
Just to let you know, ain't nobody hiding. And if you choose not to talk to me, you don't. That's fine. Let's go.
Yeah, you show up for me every time, bro, and I appreciate it. Like, you were one of the first guests on our show, and I'm like, Steven, they really gonna come fuck with us? They kind of solidified our show. I appreciate that.
You deserve it.
Appreciate that.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job. You and Mason, y'all do a hell of a job. You deserved it. And I love your basketball commentary when you was getting them Ben Simmons ass. That's what I called you. I said I loved it because Ben Simmons deserved it.
Yeah, you called me this before we had the show. I think the post was you said don't apologize.
Do not apologize.
You said do not apologize.
Do not apologize.
And I always call you for advice, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know you're in the middle of negotiation right now with ESPN, and we're not going to get into that because you're in the middle of negotiation.
Yeah.
But if you were offered a job as a head coach, would you take it?
No.
Why not?
Only job that I would be interested in basketball is president of the basketball operation.
And
I'm a bottom line kind of guy. I'm about the results, not the minutia.
Gotcha.
And I think a coach is far more, not that I'm not detail-oriented, but it's far more detail-oriented than me.
Right.
And dare I say, possibly far more patient.
Right.
And so because of that, I don't think that I would be a good coach at all.
Right.
But I would be a president of basketball operation. I would go a long way towards establishing a culture.
Gotcha.
And there's a certain level of accountability that you're going to have playing on a team like mine. And I don't need, I understand that a couple of superstars can win it for you. But my ideal model is very, very similar to what the Houston Rockets have right now.
Gotcha.
You have an exceptional coach in Ime Udoka who got screwed in Boston. I will never stop saying that. All right. You got a whole bunch of cats. Jalen Green is your star. He's at and Sengun as well, averaging under 20. They got 7 other players averaging at least 11 points a game.
Right.
So you winning by committee with fresh legs, with enough talent to compete with anybody, devoid of that star. And the kind of star that I would want to play for me is one of two people. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo or Steph Curry.
Right.
I want somebody. I'm not talking about just their talent. I'm talking about their approach, the selflessness, the fire in their belly, a guy like Giannis not training with other players.
Yeah, he's not trying to be friends with nobody.
I'm not trying to be friends. That's my kind of cat.
Right.
Steph Curry is like that, but quieter and significantly nicer about it because he just does his own thing, separate and apart from everybody, and he just shows up. Whereas Giannis lets you know we at war,
right,
and I'm coming to get you.
Right.
So either way works for me. But having a player like that with a bunch of supplementary parts around them is my ideal situation.
Gotcha. You just said you work 330 days a year.
Yes.
Minimum. Do you feel you missed out or sacrificed family life because of work, or miss out on anything as far as family's concerned?
I did.
Yeah.
Of course I did, but I did it for my family.
Right.
Not just for myself.
Right.
Everybody saw my book, The Straight Shooter, know what I wrote in it, and knows what I endured, you know, as a youngster, as a child, and everything like that. And after what we went through as a family, you know, I'm the kind of man where provide and protect. That comes with it, you know. I got 2 beautiful daughters, teenagers now, who are all over me because I don't get to spend as much time with them as I would like or as they would like. But I think about all the things they need. I think about all the things they want. And I think about all the things that they need to have to better position them for success down the line.
Right.
And the sacrifice is that it's going to cost time with daddy.
Right.
Because in my field, I got to travel. I got to get on the road. I got to get up and go. I don't get holidays. I work Christmas Day. I work Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
I work weekends. You know, I don't get off on my birthday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's Mother's Day. It's Father's Day. It's 4th of July. The list goes on and on and on. 99% of the time, I'm working under those circumstances. And so I know that it's hard. I know that it's worn on some people as well. It's certainly worn my personal life. That is the reason why I've never been married.
Right.
Because I was on the road 200 days out of the year. And the fact of the matter is, at that time, there was no way in hell I was going to be faithful.
Right.
I knew that.
Right.
So why the hell am I going to sit up there and violate my marital vows, knowing ahead of time I ain't going to honor them? There was no way in hell I was going to do that. Okay, because I was just on the road too much.
Right.
That's not the case now.
Right.
So because of that, you know, I look at things differently and think about things differently. But that was my challenge. And to watch my mom suffer the way that she did, having to make sure we had food in the refrigerator, heat in the house, a roof over our head, clothes on our back, I was like, no, it ain't going down like that. I mean, nieces and nephews, grandnieces, grandnephews, 4 older sisters, my 2 daughters. We talking about in excess of 20 people.
Right.
You know, that's a part of my family.
Right. I get it.
And my mom was like, I ain't ask you to take care of nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But always be there for them in case of emergency. You don't get a check and then go to them and just give it, because everybody gonna need you at some point.
Right.
But what you want to do is be as successful as you can, so when they call you, you can answer the call because you've built enough of a nest egg for yourself to be able to do that.
Right.
That is what I have done.
So that's what's up. So I've known you for sports.
Yeah.
Since 97, 98, maybe.
I started in 94.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been aware, probably 20 years old, maybe. Is there another career you would have pursued outside of being a journalist and beat writer now, analyst or co-producer sports? Is there anything outside of sports, a career you would have pursued?
Criminal law.
Okay.
I'm a law and order fanatic.
Right.
Fanatic.
Okay.
Like, I'm talking about the Law and Order with Sam Waterston, the regular Law and Order. I'm not talking about this SVU,
right?
And criminal intent,
the add-ons,
organized crime, and all. I get all of that. I like it,
right?
But I am a Law and Order fanatic,
right?
And so from season 3, I think, when Sam Waterston came on as the assistant district attorney, he always brought, because I love court cases. Right? Like I used to like Matlock, Perry Mason.
I hope you've gotten your affairs in order.
Right. And for me, I've always fantasized about me in front of 12 jurors against you.
Right.
Who's going to convince them
that
they right, that they're right. It would, and I'm like, it would be me. Like, I joked around. That's how I got to know Carl that was on O.J. Simpson's team, right, the lawyer there, right? Because I said, I went on the air one day, I said, I'd have beat Johnny Cochran.
Right.
And they were
I see you say that too.
Right. So I was like, I didn't mean it literally, like, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm saying if I studied the law
Right.
and I knew the law
Right.
and I had that case,
Right.
OJ's ass would have been under the jail.
Right.
I'd have got him.
Right.
I'd have got him because there was just too much evidence. I wouldn't have lost that case. That's all I was trying to say.
Right.
Not even talking about the OJ stuff and all. I just knew that based on that evidence, he wouldn't have got me with the glove. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. I'd have said that glove was blood stained and it's been sitting there for months. I'm not putting that glove on that man. I'm not falling for the okie doke there. You know, like Marsha Clark and Christopher Darden, they couldn't relate to the juror. I would have been able to relate to the juror. To me, it would have been on me and Johnny Yaki. That is, if I wasn't doing what I was doing and I was bright enough to pass a bar exam and become a lawyer, it would have been for criminal law.
This is why nobody wins on first take. Now I understand what's going on, because you're going to get the last right. You're a great talker. So we talked about first take a little bit on here.
Yep.
To where now you're executive producer.
Yep.
And we seen your, I would say, a surgeons, even though you was on ESPN way before first take. Took a hiatus from there, came back, ended up on first take.
Right.
It's with Skip.
Yep.
Now you're on there with Shannon, who was formerly with Skip on FS1. What is your relationship with Skip Bayless today?
I don't have one.
Okay. Because that's what I was going to ask you, real quick. I actually seen when, I can't remember exactly what it was, but Skip Bayless was going through something, and I guess, I don't know if it's the Shannon Sharp shit or what happened, but I remember you reached out to him, you said on your podcast he didn't pick up the phone for you, and you was like, I tried. So that's why I was asking where you guys are today.
There's nothing, I have nothing bad to say. I'm eternally grateful to Skip Bayless, who brought me on First Take, as Shannon has articulated about himself as well. Because you should never forget somebody that gave you that opportunity. You really, really shouldn't. And when I say we don't have a relationship, it's not anything negative from my end.
Right.
It's me letting you know, yo, bro, I picked up the phone on several occasions and called him.
Right.
He never called me back.
Right.
And so, to me, if you that kind of person, that doesn't make you bad. It just means that we can't vibe, because I'm going to answer a call.
Right.
I'm going to answer a call. There's nothing, I got a lot of people over the last year or two that have really, really pissed me off.
Right.
I'm picking up the phone if they call.
Right.
There's only one person that I won't pick up the phone for. Everybody know who that person is. That no good, sorry ass. Everybody knows who that is. I don't have to say his name.
Right.
Outside of that one human being on the planet Earth, you understand, who I think is the human incarnation of the devil.
Right.
Everybody knows. Anybody else calls me, I'm going to pick up the phone.
Right.
And so Skip had his right not to pick up the phone when the whole Shannon thing was going down, and that's fine.
Right.
That's his prerogative. But live with that.
Right.
Do what you got to do. That's how you felt it was best. That's why I know Skip better than most. And I know that it wasn't malice or malicious intent with him not doing that. He's just a different cat. And he operates, in a different way. I see him operating differently now than he did when he was on TV.
Right, absolutely.
And in terms of, wanting to talk to people more, as opposed to when he see me, I'm always me.
Right.
And so that's not to say, again, anything negative about him, but our relationship goes back too long for me not to get a call from you.
Yeah, exactly.
When I called you.
Exactly.
And so when you made that decision, cool.
Right.
Live with your decision. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope he gets back. Whatever makes Skip happy, I'm hopeful it happens for him. I love his wife, Ernestine, who is an absolutely wonderful woman, and she's diehard Skip all day, every day, as any man would want his wife to be. That's who she is. And she's a phenomenal woman. I got a lot of love for her, and I will always love Skip, even when I adamantly and emphatically disagree with some of the things he says and does. But the part about not calling me back, not answering my call, nah, bro, you anybody that knows me, family included, anybody that knows me, you don't get too many shots with that with me. I don't pick up the phone too often to call you.
Right.
If you don't answer my call, you don't answer my call.
Right.
I need gas money, but I don't get paid till next week. What should I do?
Don't even stress about it. Just download it to get paid early. Get it to $100 a day with no interest or credit check.
Download Earnin.
Hello.
I dig that. More people than ever. Everybody got a microphone and a YouTube channel and a podcast, whether it's in their bathroom, in their kitchen, in their living room,
Absolutely.
in their car.
Yeah.
And when I tell we be talking, I say, if a smartphone right now, if you got a smartphone, you got an opinion. Because you could just chime in on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or any social platform. Do you think that's helping or hurting sports media?
I think it's doing both. I think in some cases, the smarter you are, the more articulate you are, it can definitely help you. Not to mention the fact that it also helps you get things off your chest. Sometimes the stress that we build inside ourselves is the most inflicting than anything else, because you hold this stuff in. You don't get to exhale and express yourself. You're limiting yourself. And so it's good, somewhat cathartic, to be able to release and let go and express yourself. No problem, no doubt about that.
Right.
Some motherfuckers don't need to be talking.
Right.
Some of them, they don't need to be talking. Right. I mean, every word they say is incriminating themselves even more. It's like, you the gift that keeps on giving. And I can't tell you how many times I've said this. I said, what's wrong with y'all? What you being jealous for? First of all, you should want these cats to succeed. See, I don't root against any of these athletes. I don't root against any cat. Man, get yours. Get yours. There's too many opportunities out there to get yours. And I don't hate none of them. Anybody that wants to talk to me, I'm more than happy to. If I'm wrong, I'll fess up and say I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'll tell you, no, I ain't budging. I'm right. We can talk as men, and we can depart with decent respect for one another and move it forward anytime they want to. I always say, name the time and place, I'll show up. Ain't nobody running, and because I believe in my truth. And if I'm false, I'm man enough to acknowledge that falsehood. But I say all of that to say, you got journalists that there are some people in media that do want cats to fail, that don't want them to succeed. I don't understand it, because to me, when you're young, if you don't succeed, what you gonna do? And ultimately, you're going to cause society in one way or another. Why would we want that? The more you succeed, the better off we all are. So that's how I look at it. And when you got cats that got their own podcasts and stuff like that, I'm like, do you have any idea how easy it is? Like, you're an athlete. You do me a favor when you talk. Oh, I don't have to go see you. Oh, I don't have to go to the game. Damn, all I got to do is sit here and watch a podcast. I'm like, what's that cat? What the say next? Let me watch. Oh, did you hear what he said on the podcast? It's not hard. And so, when they do that stuff, especially when they do it and they avoid me, it makes my life easier. People never take things. I ain't never take no. Been out with them hoes. We ain't never make it no. Like Chris Paul. Kobe got right. Don't know why I'm putting down with something with you. Tell him that his bitch head fire. You in the television. Sounds to soul. Shaq. Barkley. Don't know why I'm putting down with something with you. Jordan. D-Wade. Cats like that. Oh, they scared the hell out of me. I didn't want to utter a wrong syllable about them. You know why? Talk to me. Motherfuckers. They're phone themselves. They don't hang around. They no agents.
I'm going to be honest with you. I understand he made you mad or he blind you or whatever. It's stupid. We're really taking it together.
Did you know that there's something called the ECPA, which stands for the Electronic Communications?
No. Kobe. What? I know I ain't just hearing you say that. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul, Stephen A. What was that, Stephen A? What? Yeah, like,
Yo, it was lit. Her name was Cindy, I wasn't sure because I was tipsy on the rip, playing big in the dream. Mommy, she had me dream. My dick was a bucket. I was a MC.
I've seen your show when people go first. When people call you during the actual show, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
So to do that, I'm like, I gotta dot my eyes and see me throw blood the stuff. Moonwalk got head top and he had the safest house. Got Drizzy put him in the F. Go against the stick, bitch, I triple down. They find out about me. Brush my teeth. They ain't going on a on X or Instagram and nah.
Right.
They right. I know you didn't. I remember one time. We said, that's the. Now. I just hear you say this shit. Yeah.
Right.
I look at the boss and I gotta go to LA. I gotta go to LA.
Right.
Because he want to holler at me, so that record ends the rest of y'all.
Bro, that song is crazy.
That song, it does the job to the field. Yo, it's aged as well.
Bro,
It's aged well. I ain't gonna really make that record up in the keynote. If we can really it's like you see, and he ain't the only one that's done that. I'm saying that it's a beautiful, beautiful thing because you want to get it right.
Right.
And if you're wrong, you want to know how you were wrong. But most importantly, you appreciated that they wanted to talk to you face to face and correct you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's what men do.
Right.
We don't have a lot of that in today's world. We just don't have a lot of it. That's sad. Yeah. We don't have a lot of it.
I just talked about how they get crazy out there.
I know.
I know you feel it. I'm about to say, yeah. Oh, no, it get crazy. Sometimes I close the shit, but, sometimes
I like it.
Sometimes it's entertaining just to see what the fuck is going on.
That's right.
It's about to get funny.
That's right.
I talked about knowing you since the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, so if we're going off the 90s, you say you started in 94, you're in your fourth decade of being irrelevant. Yeah. And not just regular, at the top of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
How much are you tapped in with the youth? How do you stay relevant in your eyes? Be at the top of what you do right now.
I sat down about 3 years ago with Jerry Jones, owner for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
I asked him that question. He's listen, you can show. Look at all. The young people I've hired.
Right.
Because when you surround yourself with youth, you can't ignore him. Let me sit this ass on you.
Right.
My knuckleheaded nephew was here in studio with me.
Some niggas can say I changed on them because I thought they was on the same shit I was on, but they not. Or they was on some shit that I wanted to be on, and when I got on that shit, I got on it and surpassed them. And then
He put some bookers in my chain. Pick up 80 points. Himself on being considered a young gun. A cat that's like a nephew to me is right next to him. I've known him. I ain't gonna cry. I put Family Matters on. All his life. I've been Uncle Steve to him all his life. His brother is the father of my niece. His uncle is the father of my niece. We're family. And I'm always around youth.
Right.
covering sports, you're always around youth. Right. You know, so you always hear what they think. What I say today. And then I model my commentary around the subject matter they want to hear about. I don't go on TV talking about what I want to talk about. 99% of the time. It's about what they want to hear about. Like a lot of times people look at me. Cowboys. You know why? Because what? Want me talking about the Cowboys. When I talk about the Cowboys. Cowboys, the ratings blow up. When I talk about the Lakers or LeBron, the ratings. Did I tell you come help me with these light? You can go over there and try to do the other bush something. Blow up. He's don't like them. He don't like them. When I talk about Steph Curry, the great.
Christmas, just like the ones I used to.
It's up there. If I talk about Orlando, not so much. If I talk about little, big body is what's up. Cleveland, not so much. Right. That's just the way that it works. And so people keep forgetting when it comes to me. I'm a journalist by trade. Right. What does that mean? You woke up every day. What's the story? Right. What's percolating? Right. What do people want to know about? What do people care about? Right. So it's like, I remember, I'm going to tell on him a little bit. I remember a long time ago, Rich Paul and I were getting in a discussion, and Rich Paul was like, people don't care about the blah, blah, blah. I said, man, be an agent. Right. Let me leave commentary to me. Right. You don't know what people want, and this is what I do. Right. Don't talk to me about what storylines people don't want to hear about. Right. And I would know that. Right. That's not what you would know. You know how to negotiate contracts. You know how to be an agent. You're elite at what you do. Mad love and respect to that brother. Love Rich Paul. Yeah. He's done a great job, right, in building Clutch Sports. Deserves all the credit in the world, as do others. Aaron and Eric Goodwin, Bill Duffy, and all the cats like that. Mad love to all of my brothers in the agency business. But the reality is when it comes to television, this is what I do. Right. And so don't come to me talking to me about what people don't want to talk or don't want to hear about. I would know. Right. Because First Take is going on 13 consecutive years as number one. Right. I think I got a clue what people want to hear about. Otherwise, it wouldn't be number one. Right.
There you go. Complex. They do top sports personalities every year. Yep. And it's opinionated. Yep. And you were actually number two. I forget the exact wording of it, of colorful host or best host or whatever. Why don't you think you were number one on that list? Your opinion.
I have none. I don't think about it.
Right.
Their opinion didn't matter to me.
Right.
I mean, no disrespect to Complex Sports, but
I get you.
Whatever. The ratings say otherwise.
Right.
But I would say this to you in all seriousness. Right. Like, for example, I've got the Stephen A. Smith Show. It's a podcast. It's also a show on YouTube. Same thing, right? Just on two different platforms. Yeah. Been doing it for about 20 months now. Approaching 1 million subscribers. I don't think that's bad.
Congratulations. Absolutely.
I don't think it's bad. I'm about up 970,000 right now. Doing what I do, averaging about 12 to 14 million views. Right. You know, per month, per week, or month, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. I gotta check with them to get the numbers for me right now. Right. But I'm doing well. Right. I just started. Right. You got cats that's been doing it for years. Right. You know, and they're going to continue to climb, and I'm certainly not rooting against anybody, but I'm coming.
Right.
You know, upcoming.
Right.
And I was busy doing other things.
Right.
To position myself.
I'm just saying, ESPN bet, a C grade, Steven's A-list. Why can't I have a cool sounding featured bet?
Like what?
Molly's Money Lines. They call me the queen of money lines.
Do they buy that?
They should.
Sign up for ESPN Bet to receive your welcome bonus today.
For that contract that everybody's been talking about.
Right.
I had bigger fish to fry.
Right.
And so I look at it from the standpoint that when you're talking about popularity, what are you talking about?
Right.
My boy Shannon has done a phenomenal job. Right. That Cat Williams interview, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Absolutely.
And he maximized that shit. Right. Major props to him. That ain't everybody.
Right.
Joe Rogan's the king of this right now. You know, 18 million subscribers, whatever. But he's been doing it for over damn near 2 decades.
Right.
You know, so he's an originator and a godfather in all of this, right? And so I look at, well, they were doing what they were doing. I was doing what I was doing. Now I'm venturing into this, and let's see how it goes. And, you know, not only that, you got to remember, when I first started, it wasn't the Stephen A. Smith show. It was No Mercy.
Right.
ESPN would not allow me to use my name.
Right.
Not only was I not allowed to use my name, I wasn't allowed on YouTube. There was no video component.
Right.
I didn't have no video component until 20 months ago.
Right.
Which is why I tell everybody it's 20 months.
Right.
Because I wasn't allowed the first 10 months or so. I wasn't allowed to be on video, and I wasn't allowed to use my own name. So if you Google Stephen A., what showed up was ESPN. Nothing showed up about No Mercy. So that's why I had to ultimately fight with them to get them to change my name. And major props to Jimmy Pitaro and the rest of the crew at ESPN and Disney for allowing me to do that, because I didn't have the right to do that at the time.
Right.
They gave me that right, and I'm indebted to them for that. But all of those minefields are things that I had to work with. And I remember I explained this to Shannon one time. You realize the blessed position that you're in.
Right.
You were a former athlete. You, Cameron, hip-hop artist, what have you. I got nothing but admiration and love for y'all, because it takes courage to do what y'all do, to bet on yourself.
Right.
But there's a flip side to that. As an athlete, as a hip-hop artist, you're automatically associated with independence. Not to say that you don't have contractual obligations, but you walk in the door as an independent.
Right.
We never did as journalists. We're employees.
Right.
So you always have employee restrictions.
Right.
And you have to fight to branch out and get your freedom.
Right.
To y'all, to somebody like Shannon, a professional athlete, yourself and others, you walk to the door with that level of independence that we have to scratch and claw our way to.
I get
you.
you.
Get it like
Absolutely.
that. And so that's what I've been doing.
Right.
And remember, I got let go in 2009.
Okay.
I'm unemployed for a year. I'm back to ESPN 2 years later. I was off television from 2009 to 2012.
Right.
They wouldn't let me on television.
Right.
So all of these obstacles I had to get over in order to build what I built, which is why I'm late to the game in that regard. It wasn't because I didn't have the vision. It was because I had the restrictions that wouldn't allow me to exercise the vision. And so now that I don't have that problem, you know, sky's the limit.
Right.
And so with everything that's going on, podcast network, YouTube channel, Cat, yo, bro, I'm coming.
Right.
But I'm not talking about ratings and revenue. I'm coming for other talent.
Right.
Inside and outside the world of sports, inside and outside of hip hop, in the streets, off the streets, talents everywhere. I'm a producer. I own my own production company. Right. I got projects coming down the pike. I got vision. I've got aspirations where I want to be one of those cats that discovers talent,
right,
and elevates them.
Gotcha.
I want my legacy to be attached to all of that. Right. So when I look at this industry and, you know, how people are in it or whatever, I'm like, I'm number 2 to who?
Right.
Really?
Right.
Maybe you're not paying attention.
Yeah, I remember we talked, and we won't get into detail, but you told me basically what you're telling me now. It's just more for the reason, like, here, complex is complex, do what they do. The numbers say different. Yeah, you said
The numbers say
the
different.
numbers say different.
And folks try to get you. And listen, I'm not throwing no shade on Complex. I'm familiar with them. I respect them. I certainly don't want it to come across as that.
Right.
But it's an opinion.
Right.
It's not fact.
Right.
When I tell you I'm the best, I don't mean I'm the best talent on television.
Right.
I mean the ratings and the revenue says I'm number one.
Right.
Why? Because the ratings and the revenue is what got me fired.
Right.
See, people don't. Welcome to Who's Fired, the number one platform for.
This is in your feed because you're looking for healthy, protein-packed meals that are easy and taste great. I signed up for Wild Alaskan Company, and now every month I get a variety of wild-caught premium seafood delivered straight from Alaska to my door. It's perfect because I never have to worry about choosing the right fish in the store. The fish come pre-portioned, which makes cooking super easy, and some fillets they offer have over 35 grams of protein per serving. Life's too short to settle for bad fish. Sign up for a Wild Alaskan Company membership now.
If you grew up playing Super Mario, Zelda, and Street Fighter, you're gonna love this. It's time to experience the classics one more with the ultimate retro gaming console of 2024. Meet the compact powerhouse that's set to redefine your gaming nostalgia. Simply connect it to any HDMI-compatible TV and unlock a treasure trove of over 40,000 legendary games. Yes, all your childhood favorites in one sleek device. Enjoy seamless gaming with crisp 4K HD visuals that breathe new life into old-school classics. Setup is effortless. Just plug it in and start playing. The wireless controllers are ergonomically designed for maximum comfort and control. Ready to relive the happy days of retro gaming? Shop now. It's 50% off until they are out of stock.
See, people don't understand where I'm coming from. Why can't I bring it up when that was the excuse you used for letting me go?
Right.
You used that excuse to let me go in 2009. So how is it that now that I've been number one approaching 13 years, I don't get to say, yo, that ain't the case now?
Right.
So nobody brings that up. And then you sit up there and you watch cats, and it's like you looking at them, it's like, and I'm talking to us here. I'm talking to white folks that say got nothing to do with y'all, what I'm about to say. This is about black people, all right? I'm sitting there, players. Okay, because there's plenty of players that talk to me. I mean, you can't be in my position and players don't talk to you. I get text messages and phone calls and all this shit all the time.
Right.
But for those that don't want to talk to me, you realize what you're doing? Like, you want to ignore me? How are you helping us?
Right.
The Sports Brothers are based out of Miami. They had a show that was the graveyard shift. 2 in the morning, 6 in the morning.
Right.
They'll tell anybody the biggest interview we had was Stephen A.
Right.
Because at 3 o'clock in the morning, I came on live because they brothers.
Right.
And I knew they were trying to climb.
Right.
You was getting this started. Stephen A. loved you. Done.
Yeah.
No problem. It's like these cats talk so much shit. Where's your evidence about all of this bullshit that you will say about me?
Right.
I've helped brothers and sisters in this industry since I. So don't check.